and good morning, Carrollwood Day School Middle School. My name's Arielle Solomon, and I'm in the 8th grade. All of us sitting in this room today are especially privileged. With few exceptions, we lead our lives able to celebrate our family's traditions and religious beliefs while freely pursuing an education within an academic environment rich with opportunities. Far away and unimaginable to our minds, refugees flee war-torn countries, political oppression, religious persecution, and famine. Some are born into refugee status and never leave it. Others lead normal lives anchored by families, occupation, and children, only to find themselves uprooted with lack of shelter, food, and means by which to support themselves. Regardless of how someone finds himself labeled a refugee man, woman, or child, he or she eventually loses more than the individual material items that may have been hurriedly left behind, or a job title once worn with pride, or school previously attended. They lose their individuality, the myriad characteristics that once defined them within an interconnected, rooted community. Just how big is this problem really? The United Nations Refugee Agency estimates that 21.3 million people have been displaced worldwide. Wars and climate change have led to people fleeing their homes at unprecedented rates. Indeed, it is estimated that there are more displaced people now than there were following the end of the Second World War. What are the immediate consequences of the forced migration of refugees? The most readily identifiable answers are loss of shelter, loss of income, separation of families, loss of health care, and sometimes violence and even death. Prolonged refugee status means an extended state of limbo, where they cannot make plans for the future. They have difficulty educating their children. They live in enclosed communities, and they have difficulty believing in a better future because they don't know what's going to happen to them next. This problem is not unique to our time period. Our most recent experience with such overwhelming human misery occurred during the time period leading up to and after the Second World War. Vast amounts of people from the continents of Europe, Asia, and Africa fled before invading armies and sought refuge from persecution based upon citizenship, religion, sexual orientation, and political party affiliation. Whether we are talking about the refugee crisis of today or the horrific narrative that occurred during the 75 years ago, the overwhelming scale of human misery is not just nightmarish in scale and scope. It defies imagination, both our own imagination and that of the individual refugee. And therein lies the issue and our challenge. We're bombarded by so many images of suffering that our vision is blurred, and we lack detail. So many of us say, I want to do something, but most do nothing, unable to conceptualize how their individual efforts would make a difference. So, similarly, the person who the refugee sees in the mirror is not who they once were, and it is difficult for them to imagine how a world can remember and even care about one person's individual plight. Thankfully, we live in a world today that is interconnected in ways never before imaginable. And we've recently seen how internet and social media has enabled individuals to organize mass demonstrations within a few hours' notice. And Facebook posts can go viral within a few hours, creating a cacophony of comments. And Twitter has enabled a little girl trapped in Aleppo to share her hopes and fears with the world. So you may be asking, and so what? What can I do? I'm only one person, or I'm just a kid. My answer to you is, you can do a lot. Individual effort is powerful, and individual efforts of many can make a difference. I know I can't address the refugee crises of today, let alone solve them. And even though I'm in 8th grade and I can't drive, and my mom still won't allow me to have Snapchat, I know that I can make a difference. because we know what happens when we do nothing. People starve, people die, people are forgotten. People like my father's aunts, uncles, and cousins who once lived, laughed, and loved in Warsaw. As you may know, 8th grade has a community project. I have chosen to focus my community project on the Syrian refugee crisis. I have created a blog called Exchanging Minds. My initial goal for this blog is simple. I want to give a voice to those who once called Syria home, so that we here are reminded of the human experiences that each refugee represents. I also want my blog to be a place where teenagers like you or me can post, comment, and reach out to refugees our own age, offering a hand of friendship, encouragement, and hopefully help. To quote one of our most prominent refugees, Elie Wiesel, when human lives are endangered, when human dignity is in jeopardy, national borders and sensitivities become irrelevant. Wherever men or women are persecuted because of their race, religion, or political views, that place must, at that moment, become the center of the universe. Each individual refugee is unique and is valued. Each and every one of us can make a difference if we try. Be the solution. Create the change. We are all in this together. Thank you.